today. We see some white specks, but they are not the same sort of thing we saw yesterday. And we are zooming on a pair of amphipods on the stalk of the sponge.
Tilt down.
They come in twos. It's a Mr. and Mrs. set. And there's a worm sticking up out of the seafloor in the background, I think. Can we zoom on that worm sticking out of the mud? Oh, yeah. Do you see any tentacles coming out the top of that, Shirley?
I don't yet.
Okay.
I don't either.
But we did yesterday.
Yes, we did. We sure did.
So Shirley was telling me yesterday what those worms do in order to make the tube is they stick sediment together to make the tube that protects them. And these little amphipods are clinging like crazy to the stalk.
Thanks, Shirley. Now I am intentionally backing up.
While we're looking at this, I'll give you just a little bit of trivia, factoid. So amphipod, A-M-P-H-I, amphi, and pod means, or is in reference to the fact that the first four legs, the claws at the tip point back towards the back of the body, and then the next three legs point forward toward the front of the body, so amphi towards each other. Whereas isopod, all the legs pretty much look the same, face the same way.
I didn't know that, Scott.
Iso meaning same.
Urchin.
Isomorph, same shape. Sea urchin. We've seen one of these guys before.
Yeah, we saw one earlier on this dive, I think.
We
Not
did.
sure if it's the same one. I mean, the same species,
Right.
but there was a
I
purple
knew what
one.
you meant.
Thanks, Ron. Pilot, can you talk about how far off in the distance we can see with the lights as you continue to find objects, and I'll just automatically zoom in?
Okay, so still a lot of sediment.
With the CCD.
Oh, you haven't
I
carbonate
forgot.
compensation
I forgot.
stuff. Okay.
Yep, forgot to get
And,
to
and
the
why we're not
point.
saying
Because what happens below about 4,000 meters in these waters in the Pacific is that carbonate dissolves. And that is what the shells of the foraminifera is made of. And now we're going to zoom on this teeny little pebble that has some sort of animal on top of it, or a stalked animal
Camera control again.
with a stalk real close to the pebble.
No, it actually looks like it's something on legs.
Oh, okay.
Slightly scraping bottom.
That is hovering over the pebble. Don't know what it is.
Tina thinks maybe a pagorid.
Probably a crustacean of some kind.
Yep, a crustacean of some kind. And Tina Molitsova is thinking a pagorid.
Oh,
crab.
it does have legs.
It does.
Gee, it's tiny. Is this like the one we saw before?
You
had the real long legs?
it might very well be.
Oh, yeah, look at that shape. Yep, it looks just like the one we saw before.
Maxim.
Much bigger one, though.
Yeah. So now, yeah, the possibilities it could be an isopod also.
Yep. But again, as I remember, the discussion suggested that nobody had seen this, not even Roland, our videographer, who's been out here for 6 years.
Well, but then I think Scott said, yes, actually, you did see it. Let me go back and see what he said.
Before.
Yeah, what I had said was, Roland, we saw something, one of these swimming in the water column. In fact, we've seen several times isopods swimming in the water column. But now that I've seen this view here, I don't believe the one that we've seen swimming is the same as this one, because those ones that we see, the isopods that we see swimming, the legs are much, much longer relative to the size of the body than the one we're looking at here. So this is a pretty interesting one, and sharp-eyed Roland might be correct that maybe this is the first time we've seen that.
Of course.
Tilting down.
I have learned not to question Roland.
Oh, please do not stop
Don't encourage
questioning
him.
me. Yeah.
Except when he refers to biological creatures as thingies.
No, he doesn't do that anymore.
No, he doesn't.
I've graduated to critters.
I like that term.
Now he even
Roland.
knows some more specifics.
Okay, well, this is interesting. We're seeing.
Okay, so Tina wants to know.
Okay.
So she asked the question one way. Can we make it swim? I think what she means is, can we poke it?
Oh, Tina.
We don't poke.
No, we do not poke.
Tilting up slightly.
We may flutter it with sediment
Yeah.
accidentally.
The sediment.
Oh,
may
that's
walk
lovely.
over it,
That's
make it-
really
make it
nice.
move.
Very nice. Nice
Wow.
image.
Nicely jointed legs. Looks like it has 3 major joints. 2. Well,
Okay, fine, that's
obviously
okay.
the one
That's
right
all
on the body, but then there are 2 additional
Copy that,
joints.
Matt.
Curious about the tips of the legs. They look just like they end in a thin hair. I was wondering if there was a tiny hook on the end of the legs grabbing onto the rock.
Well, when you look at these, it like really makes you think about aliens,
Oh,
alien
yeah.
creatures, how they,
I
how
know.
they're portrayed, and science fiction, and now we have these things that we're seeing here on the bottom of the ocean.
They certainly look
4,810
alien to me.
meters. Wow.
That's amazing how little we know about the ocean.
I need to
Shirley
tilt
and
down
I
my
both find.
Yeah, this is great. I'm trying to find something like it online, and I just encountered something. It's a report on the BBC from a variety of studies done in hadal fauna, so transfauna, and the name underneath a photo that looks like this is odd isopod. So that doesn't help too much.
It does not
If
at
you
all.
want to. You see it near your left skid?
Yeah. Just kind of gonna.
Squish the bug?
I hope not. That wouldn't be nice. I'm just gonna take a 9,000-pound vehicle and just gently, ever so gently.
Okay, stand by, everybody. Take a look at it. Oh!
Yeah, but now we can't see it.
Well, I hope Tina saw that.
She did. She did.
I hope it was informative.
Good job.
That was
Tyler.
very
I don't
cool.
think this is a swimmer.
No, he didn't.
As long as you
Okay,
saw,
so-
we did
and he
not
just
actually
Moved
Just-
just a short
No,
distance.
there was no
Just
poking.
kind of like, there was no poking. Didn't
poking.
touch it,
No.
just got close. It's like Tina said,
It
can we
just-
just show it a hand? And we just showed it a leg instead of a hand. And
And
there
it
it
just
is.
jumped
It just
away.
kind of like, yeah,
Oh,
scooted
what's
away.
the little white guy up there?
Might be an anemone, I'm not sure.
Okay. All right.
Very nice.
We've annoyed that enough. For what?
now.
Tina says, thanks.
You're welcome.
Bad boy.
All right, pilot, I am looking down at you.
All right. I have to move along.
Right.
I'm having lots of fun with the biology today.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Me too. I really love those acorn worms. Whose scientific name I can't remember.
Entropnoost.
Enteropneus. That's even hard to
That's right,
say.
acorn worm is fine.
Thank you.
Yep, that's something in the mid. Is that in the mid-water? What is that?
Well, there's some white things off in the distance, that's for
You have a
sure.
White things
mound
off in the
up
distance, we know what they
And
are.
one white
Course.
thing that is long and thin
Yeah,
at
it's a
the
sponge,
top
a
of the
stalk sponge.
screen.
Yeah.
And another
And then
fish.
the little ball in the middle is the sponge. But the
Another
other
of those
thing is
lizard fish in the
probably
background.
something Jeff Drazen might be interested in, right?
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Andy's been my spotter back here. Our video cutter.
Hi, this is Jeff. Yep, that's the same lizardfish we've seen now. That makes 3, which is quite a large number. But I think we can move
I
on.
hit that
Okay.
65.
Thank you.
So Jeff, you think they're eating shrimp down here, or
Right,
what?
now,
I'm just
just
trying
copy.
to. I mean, we
Gonna do
haven't
the same move.
seen
We
them,
haven't seen much in the water column.
Yeah.
Do a snout this time?
And no other kind of fish?
You know, we were just talking about that here in the ECC as well.
Okay.
We have not seen a lot of other fish, so they're probably preying on shrimps and mysids and other things drifting past in the water columns.
Okay.
Very interesting.
And they seem to think that you could get super close to him before he'll move.
Oh, okay.
Good copy, Bridge. Thank you.
But you may also get bitten.
Yeah, the last fish we just floated
So,
right over.
Bruce, you want to
Maybe it's a
explain
different
that
mood.
question that you just asked in the chat log?
Okay, I just
And I mean, and the relevance of it. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I just sent Jeff a message on the chat log asking him if this type of lizardfish, this species, is a synchronous hermaphrodite,
Yes.
meaning that it
I
can
have
be
your
male and female, have active male and female gonads at the same time in its life cycle. We saw green eyes on shallower dives on this expedition that are known to be synchronous hermaphrodites. And his comment about how many you were seeing, 3 in this area, compared to other areas where you maybe see 1 on a dive, made me think about their reproductive ecology. In the deep sea where things are sparsely distributed, being a hermaphrodite could be an advantage because maybe the encounter rates are so low among individuals of the species that there's an advantage to being male and female at the same time, and so you can reproduce with another individual in the very rare instances when the fish would encounter its own species. So there's a reproductive strategy and it could enhance survival and production of the next fish. So I was wondering, since I don't know myself, knows if this type of lizardfish, like the green eyes, is a synchronous hermaphrodite.
Oh, and now it's swimming.
Yeah, so Jeff says, according to Ken Sulak, they are.
It's really cool to watch these guys swim. Normally, when I've only seen them
watch it?
burst after something, so that was pretty lethargic, but they can be a whole lot faster. Bruce, I actually, while you were talking, just looked it up, and Ken Sulak's got a paper, and yes, Bathysaurus are synchronous hermaphrodites.
Yeah, so these are a good example then of that type of deep sea species that is usually not abundant. Don't see them in groups that would have that reproductive strategy for enhancing what they call recruitment, production of the young, and survival of the young. And by the way, you mentioned Ken Sulak in your response, his paper that reviewed the taxonomy and biology of this group of fish. He doesn't participate in the chat room or the teleconference, but Ken actually listens in on the internet to these dives a lot and then sends me emails commenting on what we have seen. So we may have the expert on this group who's listening in. I don't know if he is today or not.
I wonder if this fish is just settling now.
Yeah, so, we saw him when we just saw this fish before. It was right on top of one of the acorn worm tracks. So I'm wondering if maybe that's one of the things that it might be eating, because there are quite a few of those down here.
Still moving forward. Seeing on Sirius.
Oh, and you can look down from the Sirius down on D2 now on, I think it's on your screen too, and you can, oh, that's so cool. You can see
we're getting very
Deep
close
Discover,
to the fish.
getting close to the fish.
And it's
he's right there.
Gonna move
and it
away.
also gives you an idea of how many cameras we have on the Deep Discover and how we can see things no matter where they are around us.
Good job, pilot.
Incredibly graceful fish.
And there's another one in the background.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Are you referring to Jeff?
Okay. Nice fish.
We saw another one of those in the background as we finished that
Yeah, so
visual.
we need to just sort of move a little bit to the port, swivel to the port to see it again, I think.
I want to see one eating something.
You're a violent woman.
We need to see them off to the right. That way they don't get.
Well, you know, it would be really interesting if on one of these deep dives we brought some bait down on the ROV and put it in one of the baskets. I am 100% certain we would see a lot more fish.
Right. He's right. So you would like us to take a chicken carcass from the galley and put it in the starboard. Now, I guess we'd have to put it in the port box, the one with the lid, right? Otherwise, it'll wash out. And swim around attracting fish.
Maybe we need some rabbit chow. I think that's what Bob Carney used to use, rabbit chow.
Oh, the stinkier the fish bait, the better. That's what I learned being out with Jeff previously, baiting landers. Woof.
We are doing a crew change now, our ROV crew.
They spend just a couple minutes briefing one another on what's been going on, and then we will introduce them to you.
I think we're just changing out the pilot right now. I think Jeff needs a break.
All right. Hi, watch leads.
Hi there.
Hey, Dan.
So we got the rest of the.
Oh yeah, they are.
change
Everybody's coming in.
Yep.
Patty and I are still here.
Yep.
All right.
We don't get a break, except for lunch.
Sometimes you don't even do that.
Roland will hang with you, too.
Not if we're picking up rocks.
Roland's going to be hanging out.
All right. Well, is there anything you want to look at while we get shift changed here, and then we can do introductions and start moving?
Yeah, maybe. There are some of these little worms that are sticking up out of the
the
seafloor
tubes,
near those.
like the dark tubes.
Yeah, they seem to be near these piles of.
I see a few. They're all over the place, actually.
Yeah, but they're near that. They all have little
center.
piles of stuff next to them too.
Piles of
thingies.
Piles of
thingies.
Well,
perhaps these are piles of what they didn't eat.
Maybe.
Or what they went through.
There's one that kind of like just to the left of your lasers, Dan.
Down
left
below
and
here.
Yeah,
down.
just to the left and down, yeah.
They
Okay.
are small, huh?
Yep.
Actually,
they
what
are.
about even further left and down?
Yep, even
Bigger.
further left.
And what are these worms, Shirley?
I don't know if these are polychaetes or amphipods.
Yeah, pilot.
The worms?
Yeah, okay, so I'm looking here.
Go ahead, pilot.
All right, watch leads. So we just had a shift change. We've now got
introductions.
Now got Levi as our master navigator off on the side. And I'm Dan as your pilot, and Andy as your master co-pilot, and of course Roland at the end, master of all masters of video.
Indeed.
And then in the back right now we've got Annie, who's she's the master clipper. Everybody's great up here today. We're all with the Global Foundation for Ocean Exploration, and excited to find something new for you.
Great, sounds good.
All right, we can zoom in, Roland. I don't know what this is, but.
Oh, you know what?
I'm just sliding down the hill. Hold on. Come out, Roland.
The black lump next to that pile
let's look at that black lump.
detritus.
And
Not much traction on this thing here.
when you're ready, it's time to move.
Is the ship moving right now?
The mud is really
The
soft.
ship move underway. So maybe it's finished recently.
Kind of looks like it stopped, huh?
Looks to me as if the ship is in position. Stand by.
Has it been there a while?
Yeah, we have Sirius, the vehicle just above the ROV, is way in front, and is probably going to pull us off this position before we get a chance to get a lot of zoom.
I'm not too worried because it is extremely flat. Look at the sonar.
Okay.
Well, is it good and zoom in?
Okay, I'll be moving then right about now.
He's got you looking back at your dad.
Yeah.
I'll be slowly.
Man, I'm just sliding around on this. It's not stable.
It's clay.
Very soft.
Clay is very slick when wet.
Apparently. Go in rolling.
Doesn't get much wetter than the bottom of the ocean.
Well, we have this spine sticking up out of the seafloor that does not have any tentacles sticking out of the top of it.
Oop.
But it is a tube.
Yeah, so Scott's thinking maybe a polychaete tube.
Yeah, I think
so. Do you think that you see those little piles of detritus, and it looks like it's just bioturbated sediment? Do you think that's something that has? I mean, they're fat. We're seeing them pretty close to, well, not all of the tubes, some of the tubes. Do you think they're related to the tubes or something completely different?
I'll punch out ahead. I think we'll probably see more of them. So I'm going to
Thanks, Shirley, for asking me. Yeah, I didn't get a really good look there, but it's certainly common in shallow water to see fecal pellets, etc., around the base of these tubes. Depending on the kind of worm, it may be oriented such that it doesn't want to foul the tube, and so you would find it surrounding it.
Okay, thank you. We have another.
Yeah, folks, we have a holothurian, and you can see the trail that it's left on the seafloor behind it as it's moving toward the top of the screen.
Bottom to top of the screen.
Right. It went right across one of these circular trails of
the acorn worm.
Acorn worm, yeah. There's a huge circular trail on the bottom of the screen that's probably from the holothurian, because you can see it go around to the right and then cross over almost horizontally across that circular path from the acorn worms. Wow, this is very cool. I love trailing things. This guy is stretched out.
I saw you guys looking at one of these earlier. Do we want a closer shot, or do we want to move on?
Yeah, we can get a closer shot. That's
fine. I'd like a closer shot.
Okay.
Says
the rock lady. The rock lady wants a closer shot.
Wants a closer shot.
Really, I know.
Must be interesting.
Well, this one has.
She's hoping it's going to come up off of the bottom and swim.
I am, but it also has pink side as the earlier ones had white sides.
Oh, that's kind of nice, and you can see the scleroids in that.
This is
no, wait, that's not what they're called. Ossicles.
This is a different colored one, anyway. I don't know if it's a different species, but it sure is a different color combination. The whole body is pink, whereas the other one had a white. Area between the head and tail.
Coming around.
It is plowing away. It's actually made an
relatively speaking.
No, it's actually made an indentation in the seafloor. Look at it behind it. You can tell when the lights get on it. You can see multiple shadows there, and the seafloor is indented a little bit just behind its back end.
Hey, Nav.
Chris Kelly is disagreeing with me. He thinks it's the same holothurian as the one that was swimming.
Zoom out.
We'll have to look at the pictures later.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Wow, look how much the ROV slid sideways, folks.
Mud is slippery.
This is really, really fine.
A perfect pirouette by the pilot.
A perfect pirouette. More circular trails. Lots of them. There's a shrimp in the water.
Yep.
Little legs moving like crazy.
Yeah, if we average 0.1, we'll make it.
What is that on the
And
ground over there?
looks like a squat lobster.
Just out there in
on
the
the
middle of the sediment?
Yeah, I know, but you know.
I think he's a little lost.
You think?
You take what you can get.
On it. Oh, it's one of those guys.
It's one of those guys with the anemones on the back end.
I'll bring it in.
These are so bizarre. Okay, people.
Hold there.
What I'm told is that these are akin to hermit crabs, only they don't have a shell. They have,
Zoom in.
if this is the same
And hold.
one, they have an anemone,
Ooh.
yes, that
Ooh.
grows with the animal
It's on the run.
and
Oh, he's gonna attack you,
basically
dude.
secretes a shell for it to move around
Again, lose the
with.
skids. Yeah, hold there.
Fascinating critter.
Right, so that's good, and I was doing a little bit more
So little
reading
white spider
in the
looking
meantime,
stuff,
and
Yeah.
it turns out there are several
Little
different
amphipods or something.
groups of anemones that do this, possibly 6 different genera from 4 different
Yeah,
families.
350,
And not all of
350.
them
So you have
hour
and
continue
18
to
minutes.
secrete that shell. So in at least
Roll
one
and they can
group,
run
it's
again.
just the anemone. But it's otherwise, in some of these others, as you've described it, the structure is called a carcinesium. Carcin for crab, like carcinology, and the ecium is referring to this, basically the new shell that is being produced. It's an interesting association. The anemone
there.
can benefit because it may get food bits while the crab is
Sliding
feeding.
around. Yeah.
But also the crab can defend the anemone from predators, or it can run
Toe holds
away.
don't work very
So
well
the
today.
anemone is moved away from the predator. The anemone also protects the crab because the anemone has
I'm going to come up off bottom of
stinging
it.
cells in the tentacles, and
Right.
that can ward off octopus, for example, that may
that
want
guy
to
walking next to
feed
it.
on this.
Yeah.
So this seems to be
Go ahead.
association.
Hold there.
Some of the studies that have been done show that anemone species don't seem to care what kind of crab they're on,
Crab's gonna eat him.
but some crab species are specific to this type of anemone that they prefer.
Hey, Scott, while you're on the line, why don't you tell us about the isopod, because you did a little bit of homework on that, too.
Now
And we
I
can
wonder.
see that.
Fantastic.
too high.
Yeah, that's great. Another crustacean here.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, this is an
Wait.
Wait.
Predation,
Okay, hold on.
perhaps?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Oh.
Just going to
Just-
step on him.
Oh.
Okay, just
Okay.
stepped on it. Okay,
So cool.
A saved isopod.
go ahead, Scott.
We've never seen that
Yeah,
before.
okay, so this isopod can be
Interesting.
one of 2 possible genera. Well, I suppose it could be more than that, but the 2 possibilities that I've found are either Paropsurus or Munopsurus. And one of the interesting notes that I was just making in the event log was that some researchers in the Peru basin, so on the other side of the Pacific, also working at 4,000, deeper than 4,000 meters, were very
Yeah, hold on.
surprised when they found isopods like
that
this
bit.
coming to bait. They had no idea that they were attracted to bait, but there are
Probably
some
because you
studies
said that.
done in the North Atlantic on the
kinda
Munopsurus
watching it. I
that
haven't
show
seen
that
it
they move
feed
for
for
on
like a minute, but
foraminiferans,
I think it
the
might still be
single-celled
just slowly
protists,
going.
and we've seen lots of foraminiferans, and we've been pointing out them and the
So
xenophyophores. So
Can
it's
you
interesting to see
look
that
at our
here are
surface
some of the
currents,
animals that
look at
actually
our ship
feed on those.
position, maybe have an idea of where the ship would drift
What
if we
Scott's
lost
talking about is because
DP.
we're looking at that Crab
Northwest.
Anemone Association right now. But before
And,
that, when
look
we
at
were
local
looking at it,
bathymetry,
there was one of
bailout
those
plan.
very
That's,
long-legged
relatively flat.
isopods as well.
Bailout's 90
Okay.
due east. And that's the ship's heading right now, so the ship
Cool.
just comes forward.
Okay.
Yeah, were you talking to me, Shirley?
No, I was just telling
still got
everybody
my
in general
fisheye,
because
but,
we
now
we
you're
drifted
all the way
away
off
and we're looking at the
screen.
the crab and the anemone. But that
okay.
the explanation you were giving was one that I asked you to give
Nope.
about the isopod
All right.
that we saw close to
Zoom out.
the
I think we got enough of them.
the crab and the anemone.
That fecal matter there, did he?
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for pointing that out to everybody. Yeah, you know, as I look at this hermit crab
looks
and
like he's
anemone,
going to
I
investigate
think this is
first.
probably
Shake
one
off
of
the
the
bug.
anemones
Look at all
that
that on
does
the skid.
secrete that shell, because that anemone seems to be having part of its column extend forward. And that's
Yep.
a characteristic of these anemones that are specialized this way. One part of the column, that is the body wall, if you want, grows longer than the other one.
And what's our range to the final waypoint?
238 meters from the ship,
Okay. And time
Our-
left and average pace
0.1 knots.
to get to the waypoint by the end of the dive.
Aye.
Okay.
And how much time do we have left in the dive?
Hour and 13 minutes.
Hour and 13
Let's get
minutes
another
left in our
move on.
dive.
Copy that. 40 meters, 345. the way you're going right now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if that's the way to the waypoint, that's fine. Hey, watch leads, have you guys been happy with the pace so far today, or you want to speed it up or slow it down? Or
No, we're good. This is good.
We'll keep doing 40-meter jumps at point 2 then.
We are coming to you live
Recording.
from the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer.
Bridge ROV nav. Ready for
America's
another
ship
ship
for ocean
move.
exploration.
40
We
meters,
are
bearing
exploring
345
unknown areas
degrees,
of the Marianas
decimal 2
Trench
knots.
National Marine Monument. Today we're on
You
a
can
feature
come
that we
down a
called
few
Twin
meters.
Peaks because,
That is
well,
correct.
on the multi-beam map that we had,
Another
it
purple
looked like there were 2
Hawthorne, top
mounds.
center.
Yeah.
Our geologists and some of our other scientists thought that it looked promising to be a mud volcano. As it turns out, it isn't one. We're not seeing the characteristic
Yeah, none of them
mineralogy
swim
that would be
before.
associated with mud volcanoes. On the other hand, we've seen some really
Appreciate it. Good
interesting
copy. Thank you, Rich.
organisms down here today. Some unusual ones that certainly I've never seen before, and with very interesting adaptations for life
Is that
in
a
the
rock?
deep sea.
It is a
On the
rock.
left, I am not sure
Just kinda
what
out there on its own,
that
huh?
is. Let's take a look at it. Looks like it might be a rock.
Yeah, it looks like a rock.
Yeah, it looks like a rock.
Yep.
Rock.
All right.
And we had a holothurian over on the right.
Yep. Do you want to look at him again, or?
Nope, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. So this expedition is part of a 3-year campaign. It's called Capstone, a campaign to address the Pacific Monument science,
blew the
technology, and
holothurian
ocean
like
needs. Basically designed to address the needs of the resource managers to better understand the deepest parts
Look
of
at
our
the sonar.
nation's
It is just
marine
flat.
monuments.
Flat as a pancake.
The mission is designed and
Yeah,
supported
we get
by
10
NOAA's
meter
Office of
contours
Ocean
and,
Exploration and Research.
That's a 10-meter contour.
And the ship is operated
no
by
contours,
NOAA's
it's like,
Office of Marine and Aviation Operations. You already heard from
resolution of this
our
map, do you happen
ROV
to know?
crew and videographers. They are
I do not.
from the Global Foundation for Ocean
Not sure what it is
Exploration.
graded at.
Also a
can,
very
judge it by
important
contour
partner.
lines.
If you go to layer manager,
And
you can see the
we
name of
have
it,
a number of
named it,
other
up in,
programs,
I think options.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
offices
Yeah,
within
yeah, yeah.
NOAA that are important partners in this effort.
It absolutely will be rolling.
Looks like
NOAA's
meters.
National Marine Fisheries Service,
50
the
meter
Marine National
graded,
Monuments
probably.
Program,
Oh, there's a rock.
Deep Sea Coral Research and Technology
Ooh,
Program, and the National
that
Center
guy.
for Environmental Information. Yep, there's a bigger rock.
So the squirrels on the ground are from the. What are those?
I don't have much tether.
And up past it is
I
a
can give you a
Couple
little bit
big rocks.
boulder.
One of the really
maybe
cool
yet.
things about this,
Yeah,
if
why
you
don't you
haven't
come down
figured
a
it out
couple of
already,
meters?
is
more. Got
that
it.
besides
Small
Patty
walking
and me,
crab.
There's not much even.
who
I mean,
who are
it's
here
flat.
on the
Yeah, we
ship
got
as
nothing right
the
now, and I'm not even moving yet.
ship-based
Yeah.
See the little crab
science
band.
leads,
We're at?
we are
down
joined
below
on
the
every
screen.
dive
Off the
by
screen.
a
You got it,
shore-based science crew from
back
all
up.
over the world.
Backing up.
And
little
you've heard
lighter
from
in
many
color.
of them today.
It's gonna be
Moving.
left of
There
center.
are also a
Moving
few who are not connected
There
on
he
the,
is.
don't call in on the phone
That's
line,
it.
but
One of the
are who
tiny
are,
one of
who
those
are
guys that
contributing
crawls
comments in our
funky. All right,
chat
go ahead.
room
So it looks
so
like he's
that
got
I
bigger
sound like I know what
legs,
I'm
though.
talking about from time to time.
Looks like he fell
My
over
expertise
almost.
is in sponges, but we
Looks
have
different.
many others on the line who have
Hold there.
different
Definitely a
expertise.
smaller-
Wow.
Thanks,
That's,
thank
does he have a
goodness.
shell?
Okay,
All right. Oh, is there a little
looking.
anemone on the back?
Very small, yes.
there is. Yeah,
That is funny.
Small.
a lot of them that we
Small
find are
little
very,
critter.
very
Younger brother.
small.
So they get their anemones at a very young age.
You know what? I think
Jeez, what is going on?
if we were able to get even closer look, we might see an anemone on the
I
back of
think
that
we
thing.
do see one, actually.
What do you think, Shirley?
Can you zoom in?
I think you're right,
there.
Patty, and I get the sense that this is different from the one we were just looking at closely
Oh, it is.
and describing, but similar to the one that we saw an hour or so ago. So there may be two different species of anemone crab association down here.
Thanks, Scott. Really small, this one.
Ship is halfway through the
I'll
move.
pull out
Is
just
there
a
a reason
little
I don't
bit.
have an
Yeah, yeah.
altitude lock while this low?
What's that?
Is there a reason I don't have an altitude lock?
It's
while
just a
this low?
soft return. I mean, it's just soft
Oh,
sediment.
is there
So
an anemone on the
Yeah,
rock
it looks
to
like
the
there's
right?
an
Straight.
anemone over there on the right. Yep.
Looks like it has tentacles. At first I thought it was a pteropod shell.
Big with
Yeah.
with lots of pointy things on it.
Right, that wouldn't work.
Crab started walking See an HD2.
Well, I sure am learning a lot about the trails that I see on the seafloor when I'm diving in submersibles. Now I finally know what all those things were. Yeah, tiny anemone. Anybody have any idea what this is? I'm looking here on shore.
Coming on.
Well, it's an anemone, for sure.
What's an ACN stand for?
Anemone.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And the term is actinellid?
Actinaria. So that's
Actinaria.
So these.
Okay.
So we have these 3 and sometimes more than 3 letter codes that we use in our chat log that makes it easier for anyone going back later to search on the list. So, for example, if I want to look at any place where we found sponges, all I have to do is go and search on SPO for sponge. If I want to be more specific and want to look at hexactinellid or glass sponges, I search on SPO HEX. And if anybody wants to look for anemones, they go to ACN for Actinaria. So we have all kinds of little codes that we use. And you have codes for the geology as well.
And there's a much easier code for squat lobsters, SQA.
All right, Roland. I think it'll be a little easier.
We've seen a lot of squat lobsters on this cruise.
We like easy.
Okay.
Your mic mute is on.
All right.
I know I've said it before,
Look at the big
but I'll
rocks.
say it again. I am
Zoom in back
just
on this guy.
blown out of the water by the zooms that we
Hold
get.
there.
And every time we zoom in, we see some, cluster of tiny little animals on the seafloor, and you wonder just how much microbial life there is right below what we're seeing. Biomass in the ocean is enormous. People are so unaware of this.
It's been estimated that we know less than 1% of
Really?
the
That much?
microbial of the
Wow.
The microbiome. Beautiful anemone.
Tiny.
Excellent.
A little more stable, Roland.
Much more.
Yeah. Had to make a little change. I think it
Often
helped.
on the rocks you'll see little white squiggly hair-like things, and those are little worm tubes. Some of the rocks are just covered with these things.
And Sirius is heading my way, so we can.
It is. I'm pulling up just a little bit.
Another big mound
Show the
with a
rocks.
star-shaped pattern right on the top
Yeah.
of it.
Want to look at the mound?
That's got to be some
let's just
worm
look at
that's
the-
under the
let's look at
surface. Yep. Am I bumping
Yeah, it
into
looks
you?
like it
No,
has
I
a
don't know if
starfish
that's
shape on the top.
I
think
think we're
so.
bumping into
I
one
was
another.
like,
We're sort of.
looking at that, but I didn't think you were close enough to be doing that. Okay.
It does look like a star-shaped.
It does, doesn't it?
It
I
doesn't
saw
look
those
like.
yesterday too, Patty, remember?
We did see some things
And-
that also had a lot of really numerous radiating trails. But
One of
this
the
one
things
looks more star-shaped.
Yeah, one of the things
really
we were
does.
suggesting when we saw these yesterday was that it might be something that just comes
Yep.
up and kind of like puts a tentacle down
Right.
here and there.
Mhm.
and
Ship is in
somewhere
position.
else.
Not-
But it looks
not
very...
this one.
Copy that.
We're clear.
Okay, zoom out.
Man. Okay.
Some rocks.
Where is Dr. Ma when we need him? Ooh.
Okay, some big
Is
rocks.
that a rock?
Yeah,
The
we saw
little-
a big one. Oh, yeah,
is
we
the
saw
little-
we saw
the
the
little
little
one
one,
in
and
front?
then wait.
Wait,
Oh,
is
that
that
might be a little
Wait for it.
Wait, which one are you
And then-
looking at? Just to the left of the lasers?
The little rock with the white thing on it.
I see two little white
That
things.
little tiny thing. You're
There's
not
a shrimp
interested
on
in
the
that
bottom
big
right.
white, that big black
nice and
rock?
shrimp
Just
on
that
the
little
front.
eensy teensy rock.
Because yesterday we saw a holothurian that was covered with pebbles. Shirley, you remember that? Yeah, that was fascinating.
Oh, I thought you were
Keep
talking
going.
about the
No.
one that Allison
yeah.
told us about later on that had a really teeny tiny one.
Nope, I'm talking
Zoom
about
I
that
remember which
big
one.
one.
I remember which one you were
So I'm
talking
looking
there.
for another one of them. More
Yeah, that's one with
anemone
an
on
anemone.
rock. Okay, we've seen this.
Okay,
zoom
Seen
out.
yeah,
this,
keep on
been
going.
there.
Yep.
If you think this is big, wait till you see what's in the background.
And we're coming to a little outcropping of rocks. Rocks are nice.
Probably
Big
have a
rock.
hard
That's a
turn
big
there.
one.
A little outcropping, and there's one big rock.
Is this lava?
What's this thing
You
here?
know, I was just wondering that. Roland asks, is this lava? And I was wondering that. It
Wanna
doesn't
zoom in?
look like pillow lava because it doesn't have the
Another anemone.
roundedness of
Anemone.
the surfaces that pillow lavas characteristically have. But there's some lavas that produce a flatter aspect. And we are pretty
Look at the
far from
pink
the end
immediately
of
right
dive.
lasers.
How are we doing on time here?
We have a little over.
See it?
Actually, we
Is
have
that a
about an
Is that a coral?
hour, a little
No, I
under
think
an
it's
hour to
sediment
go.
layer
Patty.
shifting.
Think?
It's on the
Yeah,
rock.
Levi, how
Well-
much time do we have?
Hold on. Go ahead.
And Nav, how much time do we have?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, good zoom on the rocks. And see what I mean? It's just covered with little hair-like
Well, actually, this is now we have
extensions.
an hour and
and
2
some
minutes left, so
curved
yeah, an hour.
ones.
Roger that.
So we got to pull
Okay, the rocks at the base are brown to red. This looks like sediment to me because the surface is so irregular. Does not look like lavas. When lavas erupt on the seafloor, unless they're super fresh and real glassy, if they are individual flows or pillow lavas, they have a smooth edge to them.
Unless there's a sample request from here.
Crinoid?
Top
On
of the
the
rock
right.
here.
Is that?
I think it's
Oh,
another
look
one
at
of
Oh,
those.
there's a something on the right.
I think it's
Don't know
another
what it is.
spidery looking thingy.
Yes. Zoom in. Hold there.
Oh, it's another one of those
Yeah.
isopods.
Now, what is the white thing sticking up to its
Oh, yeah.
left, Shirley?
Well, let's zoom out and I'll sit down. We
What
can find
is
it.
that? Tiny
you know
little
what, I-
On the right.
the
hair-like
One on the
thing?
right, too.
I
Same
mean,
thing.
Yeah.
it could be
Jeez, can
crinoid
we
stalk.
look
It
at
could
it?
be a
Walking
sponge
thing.
stalk. I'm not sure.
Yep. Wonder if we can get a closer look.
But we've got
Certainly
another
can.
one of those
Hey, Nav, what was that last
long-legged
move? How far again?
isopods for
The
sure.
last move was
We
a
do
40-meter
indeed.
move, and the
Okay.
ship stopped at 249.
Right on. Yeah, you got plenty of time. I was
We have
Possible
just about an
coral
hour
something
left.
on the rock in
It
the
looks like we have
background.
some
You see it
fracturing in this rock.
at the top of the screen.
Let's talk about
That
the
is
I'm
going
coming for this right now,
from
so
No,
we'll
I'm
get it
just
after.
pointing it out to
upper
you.
right to
Yeah.
lower left.
Pride Rock.
Go ahead.
And the
pretty
fracturing
close.
is
You're
aligned
right.
parallel to the
it a
back
sponge?
side of the big rock
Don't
up
think
on the
so.
top of the outcrop. Okay, Shirley, take a look at this
Not
thing.
sure if
Got
coral
little
or
white dots all
sponge.
along it and little hair sticking out of it.
Little
Is that a
sponge.
sponge?
It does look like a
Is that a carnivorous
sponge?
sponge?
And it's pretty long, actually.
Yeah, it is. And it has little white dots along the length.
Base
Is that
on the
something
other
it
side,
has
of course.
caught?
Possibly.
Coming up.
Trying to get my focus. Lost the focus.
Just trying to move around it slowly.
Really delicate.
Got it now.
And video, if you can zoom in and get a closer view of the stalk itself. Oh, really pretty.
There, come out real quick, Roland. I'm gonna
Now,
sit-
when it's
sit
against
down
the
again.
That's just set up
background
super
of the
close
black
on that
rock, you can see the spicules. Are they spicules sticking out of the stalk?
Uh,
Get real
well,
closer.
they're actually, there's some
Let's try that
cell,
zoom in.
it's cells.
Getting more
There's cells
closer,
with
so
spicules,
small.
Try
like
this.
with spicules. So like
Okay.
the spicules are giving it that structure,
way in.
but there's also cellular material there too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Ooh, nice picture.
Very
of
nice.
The
Yeah, maybe
hairs.
you got the rock or the shadow in the background.
Yeah.
For more contrast. I don't know.
I never knew that there were carnivorous sponges.
And you can see like little lumps along
Yeah, you
that,
can.
that stalk. So it,
Yep.
it looks like those
It's
are
caught
places
things.
where it's digesting some of the crustaceans that it's caught.
Mm-hmm. They're mighty small.
Come out.
Sure.
Yep.
Great.
Shirley, isn't it
Isn't that
amazing that it wasn't too long ago,
Rolling.
maybe, what, 20 years
20
or
years,
so,
yeah.
that none of us knew anything about carnivorous sponges.
Yeah.
And now we seem to see them everywhere, at least in the deep sea.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is that those sponges were observed before, but they were never, you know, the cladorhizids were described, you know, much longer ago than, you know, 20 years ago. But that whole phenomenon of carnivory was only described when Jean Vasselet and Nicole Bourriasneau in France had the opportunity to really sample one from shallow water in a Mediterranean cave and then observe it. And actually they observed when they were diving in these caves that there were crustaceans that were caught on them. And so it led them to hypothesize that these might be doing something different. So they put, oh gosh, what is that? What the heck is that? Is that another one?
Yeah, what is that?
It is. It's another. I think it's another one. Okay.
Oh,
all right. All right.
so
Scott,
delicate.
what do you think, Scott?
Really delicate.
They're going to want to see that really well.
Well, I'm waiting to get a little closer. I think it's sponge.
Yeah, I think it's a sponge too. I was like reserving judgment on that until we could get it a little bit closer to make sure it wasn't something like a hydroid, but I'll be darned if it doesn't look like...
Yeah, I see it close now too, and I agree, but it's not something I recognize. I mean, I'm no sponge expert, but all the ones I've seen, this looks a little bit different. Looks like the hydrozoan version of the cladorhizid.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's got lots of things on its branches.
Shifting back.
So an interesting thing about this, I guess, about seeing all these cladorhizids, Shirley, you've described them many times about how they're different from the typical sponge, which is a suspension feeder generating a current, pulling in very small food particles, like essentially bacteria size and smaller, so that they can synthesize them into the cells. But all these cladorhizids instead are kind of velcroing and hooking and capturing small crustaceans. So what that suggests to me is that there are relatively few small particles drifting in the water column here, and so these sponges are coming up with a different way to feed, and that could be an explanation for why we aren't seeing lots of other sort of suspension feeding animals.
Exactly. Because really the only other sponge that's, you know, the suspension or filter feature that we've seen is the hexactinellid sponge, and the stalked hexactinellid sponges. And this is a demo sponge. It's in a different class of sponges. But, yeah, exactly. We haven't seen many other suspension or filter feeders.
So you want one of these rocks?
I'm going to have to check the literature and see, because I don't remember any cladorhizids that are branching and fanning like that, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can back up, but I've got these in front of me. Is that going to work, or?
So I mentioned before that Jean Vasselet then collected some of these shallow water carnivorous sponges
pile here,
and has them in an aquarium and a refrigerator in his lab, and he feeds them, I think he feeds them brine shrimp every few days, and he then took videos of these sponges feeding, and I think you can probably just Google carnivorous sponge feeding and you can watch this video. It's fascinating.
Any of these in particular look good to you?
They'll kind of look in situ.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So what I have asked the pilot to do is look for a sample that we can take here in this outcrop.
Is that a good size there, the one I just hit with my skid?
Yeah, it looks a little big for you, but if you can, oh, I see. There's the.
Or
Yeah, actually,
is on?
right.
That
Yeah,
might be
either
this.
one of these.
Okay.
I'm sure these are all part of this outcrop. They might be very soft, though.
Well, we just fine-tuned our grip force on the manipulator today.
Yeehaw! Delicate touch.
Pilot, I'm not moving, so if you'd like, I can turn just to have you in view. Get a
It should be fine. If you're not moving, that's, I mean, it's flat and nothing on sonar, and I mean, I'm comfortable.
We have one rock that's in a bio box.
Oh, we do?
Yeah. Let's see.
Are these, so these are soft enough to put in bio box?
They may very well be.
Okay.
Looks like you got a geo and starboard outer.
Starboard outer, okay. Starboard outer.
Yep.
It's like the last box we usually use.
We have a bio and port inner and a geo and starboard outer.
Okay, well, let's put it in the starboard.
Probably one thing to think about as we collect this, if we do get another bio,
Yeah, there's a problem.
the left port boxes.
That's why, yeah, that's why I said we're going to put it in starboard so that we don't.
I'm just going to
affect
tell you,
that.
the port boxes both have sediment in it from a previous collection of a sponge.
Okay. Like,
Well, let's see if it's not real soft and crumbly when
we
you
get
pick it up. We can
hydraulics?
put it in
Copilot?
the
rock
port
box.
rock
yeah,
box
let me
with the
wrap it up
lid.
real quick. We've been just leaving them on.
winch
So.
on deck A.
Also, winch is calling you on deck A.
Copy that. Hold on a second. Stand by, winch. Okay. Go ahead, winch.
Are you going to be stationary for 10 or 15 seconds? There's just a tool under the level line I want to grab.
Yeah, I can stay stationary.
All right, stand by. Okay, everyone is clear
Oh,
of the
that
winch.
is
Oh
soft.
yeah.
Very soft.
Copy
Tell
that,
you what,
winch.
pilot, forget it. Can you? Well, maybe you should try for that one to the right that you were
The
talking
bigger one,
about
the
initially.
bigger one.
Yeah, because now we've just got teeny pieces.
Okay, you want the bigger one then?
Please.
I think. Yeah.
Just real light touch.
So yes, starboard is with the other geological copilot.
Ooh, that one came up pretty easy. Good.
Well, that was a much gentler touch.
Would you have it down
Master
to like
pilot.
2?
I do actually.
Yeah, looks like
zoom in?
that's good, and it's pretty calm up
position.
here. So I think if we put it in the port rock box, it might survive. Does look layered though. It does look like it may just be sediment, but a sedimentary rock is still a rock.
That brown patch is good to image in the top left.
Right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see where it has been stuck underneath the sediment, and it does not have manganese coating on it. It's very pale.
Video's clear.
Okay, you can zoom out. So did I hear you want to put it in the rock box and not the bio box? Is that right?
If
It
I guess
doesn't
you have
matter
the
to me.
yeah,
We
you
can
have
do
the
either.
lid closed, so just put it in the rock box. We'll see what comes up.
We can.
Okay.
Okay.
It's up to you. It's not a
Yeah, we
problem.
can easily slide
Put
out
it
our
in the bio
drive.
box if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, okay, if we can put it in a bio box, it's okay to put it in a bio box that has sediment
not.
in it.
You might be able to open it.
I think the outer port
Still going for starboard?
is the one that does not have
Oh.
the sponge in it,
Wow,
right?
I just touched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did its adjustment to go right on.
Yep. No, I did, but I wasn't holding it. So Josh said he had the same thing happen the other day.
Yeah, it's like a long touch makes it
Well,
line up.
Right, I know that, but I tapped it.
Oh.
And Josh said he had the exact same thing happen the other day. Wonder if the button sticks a bit or something. Okay.
So what box?
Co-pilot winch.
Stand by, winch.
Shirley, the bio sample is in the inner port, right?
Port inner.
Port outer bio box, pilot.
Okay.
Port outer. Okay.
There is a sponge in the port inner.
Okay. opening bio box when you're
Yeah,
ready.
just be careful, I guess, when you open it so it doesn't float out. I don't know. That's the only thing I'd be concerned about.
Oh,
Yeah.
What do you
the
have in
sponge,
there?
you mean?
Oh yeah, let's not do that.
Carnivorous
Yeah,
sponge.
yeah.
If you bring it out slowly.
Let's just, well, I'm afraid of it crumbling, see that? But,
Yeah.
I mean, I can do the starboard.
We have no problem putting it in starboard.
Starboard.
Starboard's good.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, retracting forward bio again.
Okay, so
Because we have a starboard outer in the rock. For there's a rock and starboard outer, and we can do...
we can do starboard inner. There's a rock in the starboard outer.
That'll then leave you with no clean boxes for
It's okay.
bio.
It's all right.
There we go.
Oh, no. Oh, it's stuck in. This is precarious.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really want to.
You can see maybe that pilot.
So it's kind of stuck on the frame.
Right.
Well, do we have control over the
pilot?
Let's bring Mini Zeus up. Yeah.
Okay.
Might actually be useful here.
Mini Zeus does not have rotation, I'm told.
Yeah, well, we don't have tilt, right? We have,
Correct.
Well,
So
let's
we
see what
do
we
have
have.
tilt.
Let's find out.
you want to bring the pilot cam over too?
Over on which one?
No, just bring the view around.
Oh, yeah.
I think you might be able to grab it, Dan.
Yeah.
I think he can.
With grabbing it without breaking it. Is
Well.
the trick. So maybe you can tell us why these rocks are so soft.
I think
I
that
don't
they
think it's gonna
are
help you.
sedimentary rocks.
Okay.
Right there.
I think we have sedimentary rocks is why they're so soft.
I don't know.
Nothing. Nope.
If you wing in, it'll fall out.
It might.
Yeah.
You think?
Probably will.
Why don't you try winging in and
Sure.
I mean if it falls, it falls.
Coming in.
No, wing.
Oh, wing in.
Just a hair and then I can get
Let's go ahead and do that.
just a hair.
Just a hair.
So then it won't
Come
be as
on.
precarious for grabbing the frame.
I don't think it's gonna work. There it goes.
Yeah, keep coming.
No problem.
Oh yeah, we can get this. Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be an interesting maneuver.
See it very well on the main HD camera.
Sounds like she's challenging you, Dan.
What a phenomenal job they do,
I know.
isn't it?
This is no challenge for Dan. This is what he does every day.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're great.
This really is like the claw machine at the arcade here.
Yeah.
And he's just teasing you scientists.
Okay.
He is.
Oh, no.
Well,
Ah,
Okay.
got it off the shelf. All right.
We go ahead and go
You
out for it.
jinxed him,
Yeah,
Roland.
thanks,
You
Roland.
jinxed him.
That's not
I just
fair.
I just had total confidence in him. I really
Yeah.
didn't
You
expect that.
jinxed him.
You know, pilot, any of these rocks would be acceptable.
Sure.
There's a nice rock straight below.
If it has an anemone
So
on it, it's
it's a-
even nicer.
It's a little large.
No, I'm seeing it in HD too. It's the one that
Okay.
just went down.
Uh-huh.
HD2.
Yeah.
I mean,
The same one we just tried. It's probably all broken up now.
Looks pretty good.
I don't know.
Looks very much.
you don't want that one anymore?
We don't want to use rock.
Scratch and dent rock, slightly used.
No used.
I mean, I could grab it. Do you want to go for another one?
Yeah, let's try another one. If these rocks are made of the same stuff that we are seeing as sediment on the seafloor, they're very fine-grained
All right, winch, go
clay
ahead.
stones. We shall see.
Hey, at some point before we start our ascent, I'd like to service that bearing a little, so anytime you think we'll be stationary for a minute or two, let me know.
Copy that. I will get with pilot when we have a moment. So pilot, he wants to do some maintenance on the winch before ascent.
Yeah, okay.
So I guess whenever we're going to be same level for a while, I guess we could have him do it now since
Yeah,
we're
well-
going to try another.
Yeah, then I have to push out, so we could do it now.
Yeah.
You're happy with your...
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy with Delta right now.
Sure.
All right, winch. Yep, you're cleared to go ahead and do that. Just keep me posted, please, and let me know what's going on.
Okay, it'll be a minute before I'm in there. But
Anything grabbable with a light touch.
Copy that.